Electricast.
Hello and welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm Ilan Azulai, your host, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist. This is an empowerment program with guests from all over the world who will share their light and their gifts of art, knowledge and wisdom to inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Together, through the healing magic of sound and the power of words, we will look at everything from a spiritual lens. Hello, welcome. Good to be here. Good to be here again. I'm roasting with my fire. It's LA, I'm in LA, but it's a little chilly. So I'm glad you're here. I'm Ilan Azulai. And we're in Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. It's been a while since I've been doing these formats of coming on the mic and on the camera. And some interesting things going on and great music. So I want to start, first of all, people ask me to talk about, again, Abracadabra, where it comes from and what's its origin. Well, aside from bringing a rabbit out of the hat and Abracadabra, oof, it starts from the Aramaic language, and it means Abracadabra, I create as I speak. And it's interesting because that's where everything starts from sound, from our voice. Music is so divine that it is the next to the crown. The word that we speak, how we speak, what we say, what place we inhabit within ourselves when we say what we say. So and manifesting, right? Manifesting is who doesn't want really to manifest something? We all want to manifest. We all want to be in a place of abundance, of joy, of relatively peaceful peace and quietness. Sometimes we like to live on the edge, so we can look for that peace and quiet, and then go back to the edge and pull and push all the time. So this program is as an empowerment program for you who are ready to be here and to reclaim your power and to see and to be encouraged by others. And I want to combine this past Friday. I did not do my Friday talk for a reason that I don't know how to explain, except for it wasn't possible to do it that day. It didn't happen. So it happens that we are here today, and I want to combine some of the things of the metaphors and the stories that were happening in the Torah portion. How does it really affect, and what teachings do we have from these portions? Because these portions, these stories, on a certain level, are only stories, but on deeper levels, they give us so much teachings and so much inspiration for life and for how we are. And today's topic I want to talk about is hospitality. What do we inhabit? What place within ourselves we inhabit when we are hospitable? And that ties into judgment a little bit, right? Because when we are hospitable, we're not as judgmental, and what do we sacrifice? I mean, there are really profound stories this portion of the week, and with Abraham and his the sacrificing of Isaac and the whole story around that. Won't go into it too much, but really what it is about what can we get from it? What can we learn from this? And when we are hospitable, it's not only about, oh, come to my house, be in my house, or come eat my dish, but it's also collaborations, right? We're hospitable with our talents. We're hospitable with our gifts. We're hospitable with the way that we are inviting people into our own space, into our own creations, right? And so that brings me first, I want to start with this. Okay, so you know that I value Matti Caspi's music. He's Israel's most prolific musician, and more than value, I'm really fascinated with his music, with his creation, with the mind, with the gifts that he received on composing music, over 1,000 songs, and he always looks for collaborations. And to be a collaborator takes a certain person, because many people, not just in music but in other situations, they like to do everything themselves. Everything is and some things we are to do on our own. Some things we are to do with our gifts. Some things we are here to do alone on our own, and then it shines and inspires people. But the power of collaboration in any aspect, in work, in music, let alone in anything, in teachings like this, in yoga, in sound therapy, in every subject, collaborating is always bringing two flames. When you bring two flames, like two candles, right? You put them two flames, it's like they're creating a bigger flame, right? So there is more power to it. And so Matti Caspi collaborated with this wonderful Indian singer, Lucky Ali. And Lucky Ali is also a very profound actor, and his wonderful voice. And so Matti recorded the song, and he had an Indian flavor. And you know what? Before we listen to the song, I had a little conversation with the maestro, with Matti, and I would like for him to talk a little bit about the song Anchorage. Thank you again, Matti Caspi, for taking your precious time and being here. You're now in a major tour in Israel, and you just released a wonderful song called Anchorage, and the video is beautiful. The song is beautifuler, and you are combining forces with Lucky Ali, as a famous Indian singer and actor. So thank you for your time, and if you can please share about the work with Lucky and how that manifested.
Okay. When this song was composed by me, and since I'm composing within a lot of styles, all of a sudden came out some Indian song, a tune, I mean, and then I, with Raquel's mind, and she's my mind behind me. She suggested that I will contact the Israeli embassy in New Delhi and ask them to try to help me to find some artists. And finally, I got some names, and I opened YouTube in order to find a matched one. And this way I found Lucky Ali, because I heard his voice, and it completely matched with the tune. And then I got his number, and I made the contact, and we talked, and then he got the tune, sang by me, the whole tune, in Hebrew, and he told me that he liked it very much. And then I waited until he will complete the Hindu version, and then I asked him to sing the whole song in Hindi. And after that, after I got it, I divided it in a few places in order to build some duet between him and me.
Yes.
And technically that's it. And then I heard his flute player, who is amazing.
Yes.
And then I asked him to play also, and he sent me his video, and then I added the clip, and here we are.
This is fascinating. You know, I heard his voice is such powerful in his gentleness. So
Yes.
Wow, this is fascinating. When I heard his voice, I melted. That's why you're the maestro, and you pick those right people and the instrumentation to do your magnificent song. So thank you for this beautiful creation.
You're welcome.
So this is wonderful. So I want to play the song. This is a wonderful song, and it's really what it is, anchorage. How do we find our anchor? Who is our anchor? Do we look outside for our anchor? Do we look inside for our anchor? To be anchored. Let's put our hands up and be anchored.
ים שלווה ללא אדווה ואין בו גל चमकते तारे बहुत ऊपर בואי אליי राहत हूँ मैं आजा इन हाथों में यीशु लाई मागन पहले से खींच रहे हैं आग की तरह סברם עכשיו מורם כמו מחפשים בואי אליי मेरे साथ आओ राह तक मैं आ जाओ בניי ישו בי मैंने गिरफ्त दूर कहीं खिलखिलाती हंसी एक बचपन की ניסת אני ואת כמו שני עדים मेरे पास आओ मेरे साथ आओ राह तक मैं आ जाऊं בניי ישו לי מעגן
Right, right. Yeah, you can feel that. First of all, this music of Matti is just heart heart capturing, and then the voice of Lucky Ali. So thank you, Matti, for sharing this and sharing this wonderful gem. So hospitality, right? We're looking at Abraham is considered to be the example of all kindness and generosity. He was the example. He is the example of hospitality, of being hospitable. They say that his tent was open from all four sides. Was open from all four sides, so whoever is approaching the tent doesn't have to go around. Can just like walk in from any direction. Now, this is a time where Abraham circumcised himself. He's 99 years old. He circumcised himself, and he cannot not be sitting outside the tent waiting for people to come. And it says, the way that it says in Hebrew, that Abraham sat there in the heat of the day. So it is said that God specifically made the sun that day very, very hot, because the third day in circumcision is the most difficult one, especially somebody like himself. And so nobody will come, so just he will relax. And suddenly it says that there are three people standing upon him, nitzavim, standing upon Abraham. Now, these were angels. Why? Because also it doesn't say, oh, three people were approaching him from afar. It's just like looking, and whoop, woof, they're there, right? This is how miracles happen. This is how angelic appearances happen. They just appear on you. Things that are happening for you, people that you meet. Think about people that you meet in your life. Did you have any experience of people that you had that you know that they are here to help you, to be part of your journey, to help you in whatever is going on right there, and they're angelic? I know personally from so many times that this happened. I know from friends, from clients that were telling me that suddenly a person appeared and they were there to help them, and then they vanished. They couldn't find them. They couldn't locate them. Nada, nicht, gar nicht. They couldn't find them. Nothing. So here come three people. This was Rafael, Gabriel, and Michael. And Rafael came, just like the name, Rafael came to heal Abraham. Michael came to also inform Abraham that next year they're going to have, him and Sarah are going to have a child. And Gabriel is the angel of judgment, of dinim, coming to about Sodom and Gomorrah, to wipe up Sodom and Gomorrah. Michael came actually for two reasons. Usually angels, as it is said in Kabbalah, usually angels will come only for one purpose. But he came to give Abraham the message, and to also save Lot, who was Abraham's family, right, from Sodom and Gomorrah. And so the first thing that Abraham does, he sees them on his face, and he says, Adonai, al na ta'azov, God, please don't leave while I welcome these people. Now, the word Adonai means two things. Means God, my Lord, my God, but it also has a plural. Hebrew words sometimes have pivotal meanings. meanings. And so Adonai also means plurals. So in one explanation says, gentlemen, please don't leave me yet. Or, but he knows that these are angels because they stood upright upon him. And he says, God, please don't leave me while I accept these guests. And this is where the famous sentence of Achnasat Orchim Gvoha Mehashchina, that hospitality and bringing people in is greater than receiving the divine. Listen to this. Receiving a person, being hospitable, is greater and has more value and is more important than accepting God. Now, when we're talking about God, when we're talking about creation, we're like, wait, it's like somebody, it's like a parent. Think about a parent. What do we want for our children? We want our children to grow. We want our children to succeed. We want our children to be the best and better than us, right? It's always like that. We want them to be the best. And we support them unconditionally. So we support them also, and despite, afal pichen velamrot hakol, after everything, despite everything, also if they decide to leave the house, not talk to us again, and or just whatever, or they're going through a growth spur and they're not, we will always be there for the most part. I'm talking about the creation nature of a parent, of parenthood. Of course, we all have marks, we all have dents in our bodies, we all have dents in our cars from years and past experiences. So we as adults also may have something going on with our kids. But really, the essence is that we want our kid to succeed better. So God is saying, hospitality is greater than accepting. Than you can tell me to wait, go receive the people. And so these are lessons that we're seeing all across this, especially the stories with Abraham. Yes, Michal, Kesem, magic, indeed, it was magic. I don't know who that is. It just says Facebook user, but thank you, thank God, and thank you. This is a Facebook user that just put this message up, and this is actually the story that we're having here in the portion is really the essence of Ve'ahavta lereacha kamocha. You know, the sentence of love your neighbor like yourself, and some people say different lingo, but it's love to your neighbor. In Hebrew, it's not love your neighbor, but it's love to your neighbor, or to your friend, or to your gardener, or to your driver, or whoever. But the love to, meaning that wish love to that person in the same way that you love yourself. In the same way that you, I'm sorry, my mind was there. Love, wish the best things for the person in front of you in the same way that you wish the best things for yourself. Because it is hard to love ourselves. Well, I mean, we're still discovering how to love ourselves. What does love mean to ourselves? What does love, what love is, you know? And it's like it's a constant. It's constantly growing. That's how love is, constantly growing. Love is attributed to the Torah. The Torah has 70 ways, 70 faces. It's like every subject in the world has 70 total of opinions, just like 70 languages, 70 total opinions. So if love is the Torah, and the Torah has 70 faces to it, that means that also love has 70 ways to love. It's like the song of Simon Garfunkel, 50 ways to love your lover, or 70 actually. You can have 70 ways to love, 70 ways to express your love, 70 ways to be love. And so love, love to your neighbor, love to your neighbor in the same way that you wish the best things for you. And from within that, from within that, oh, it's Gina. Hi, Gina. It appears here Facebook user. So I don't know. I don't know who it was. So thanks for clarifying. And so our hospitality can be a trigger to do good things for other person. So we look at the story of Abraham. Now, going further, we look at the story of Abraham of how to be hospitable, and that will trigger, will move, will make things in motion again. Sometimes when we procrastinate, what's the best thing to do? Is to get up and do. Doesn't matter what we do, just get up and do. Just move our body, just to get up and do. Right? That's many times the key to just get out of procrastination. Now, are we channeling it to where we want to be? That's the next step. But first of all, we just get up. Oh, I can see here in the reflection, I can see the back of the computer and the thing. Cool. So we get up and do that. We just get up and move to move our procrastination. It's the same thing with the hospitality or with any other trait that we want to adapt. We'll just get up and do something towards that action, with that action, towards that intention, so we can start getting the wheels spinning. So the same thing with hospitality. Then there comes the bigger test, really, because Abraham went through a lot of tests, so to speak, and literally, but a lot of tests to see if he's really committed to the devotion to God. And the last one is his son, Isaac. Now, Abraham and Sarah thought, oh, the angel told us that we're going to have a kid, but we're old. How we're going to have a kid? We're getting old. Sarah is already not, she passed menopause. She passed everything. She's not, she's, in our terms, old lady, right? But in those times, they were still living longer. So Sarah told Abram, go have a baby with the shifcha, the maid, right? Hagar. And then they had Ishmael. And I said, no, that's not him. And that's not him. And then they said, why did God waited for 99? He was 99 when he had Isaac, is to have all the correlation and all the relation to his father and his generation die out, because his father and his generation were a worshiper of idolatry and creating statues. And so finally he got his son, that Isaac, that from him we'll have the generations, the Jewish generations, and and here we are. And then he tells him, go take your son, your only son, and sacrifice. Now, you have to understand, at that time, the sacrificing was a normal thing of those who were worshiping statues and different gods, and they were worshiping, and they were sacrificing. And also, children at that time, up until the Roman time, around that time, children were not autonomous. Children were property. Children were property of the parents. A parent could kill the child. That was acceptable. That was acceptable. That was acceptable for a parent to do. A parent could do anything they wanted with their kids. The kids did not have an autonomy. They were property of the children. So today it may look, people say, how come? It's such a cruel thing. But we have to take things into perspective a little bit, into where things are. I come from a generation where it was acceptable to marry underage, that generation, those generations had a different tribal, if you will, or different social acceptance. Just like today we have certain social acceptances that maybe 50 years from now, or 100 years from now, or 1,000 years from now, people will look back and say, oh, they were unbelievable. How could they do that? For example, like an example of the separation causing this fear. Can you imagine that maybe in 1,000 years, or hopefully tomorrow, but in 100 years, 50 years, everybody will come from a place of love and caring for the other person? What happens when you do something good for somebody else? What happens? You feel good. I mean, you don't have to do big things. Even small thing, even giving food for the homeless person that sits down. You feel this good thing. You feel this rush, right? It's kind of a rush. And this is how we're designed. We're designed to be in service for others. We're designed to help other people. We're designed so. Our system helps us because we are being fed by that. We're being fed by that goodness and kindness. Right? So when we're being fed by that, we want to do it more. But so maybe 50 years from 100 years from now, they'll look now and say, oh, those people were living in total fear. I mean, they gave them shots to really kind of like conform them and get into their head and get into their body, and the death rate goes up and yada, yada, this whole thing. And we look at it and we say, wow, this is crazy. And it is crazy. And some of us see that craziness and some of us don't. And that's okay, because each person has their own journey. Each person has their own box of crayon to draw their own painting, to draw their own lives, how they do that, right? So hospitality. So God is asking Abram, go and sacrifice your son, your only son, the one that you waited almost your entire life, and finally give to. And Abram doesn't argue. He gets up, he does it. That could fall also into, it's not like Sodom and Gomorrah, we said, oh, maybe if I find 50 people, you will save them. Maybe he argued and he bargaining. He was bargaining with God. And we see it with Moses also, right? He was bargaining with God. Hey, if I do this, will you save them? If I do this, will you save them? If I do this, will you save them? But he doesn't bargain about his own kid. Now, maybe it comes from that notion of, at that time you sacrifice your kids, so maybe he thought, oh, that's part of the whole thing to show my appreciation, so I'm going to do that. And we'll do that. And then the last second, the angel comes out and says, Abram, don't do that, because you did not spare your only son that you've been waiting for. You did not spare your only son. Then I know your true devotion. So that brings to another question. When we want to, how do we show our love sometimes? How do we show our dedication sometimes? Sometimes we have to really give what is really painful to give in order to ascend. I feel that sometimes God is saying, okay, you want to graduate from this knowledge, from this experience. You want to graduate from this vibration and ascend. The cost is the experience. So we go through experiences, and then those experiences end. Many times they end in, there's never a good timing for them to end. And we look and we say, oh, wow, it ended. And sometimes we take it very hard, and sometimes we don't take it very hard, but it's painful because we are bonded to that experience, or we are bonded to that person, or we are bonded to, and anything that we are bonded to is meaningful. And this whole thing of what we're doing, of how we are, where we are, what we're doing, we're talking about love, we're not talking about love, we're talking about what is good for us, what is not good for us. It's about meaning making. We're making meaning. We're making meaning in our lives. We're making meaning of our lives. We're making meanings of what we share, of what we're showing. And so this is about meaning. And so hospitality is one of the first anchor, talking about anchors, right? Anchorage. So you're talking about like the song Anchors. What is the anchor? Our anchor is others. Yes, we have the anchor within ourselves. But let's say we take all the riches of the world. Everybody's out of the face of the earth. Everybody's gone. Nobody's here. It's just you and me. But you have all the riches of the world remaining here. Everything, you have everything. What ends up happening? What do we feel? We feel lonely. So Yes, to find our own power and our own joy within ourselves. But if we don't have that anchorage, that anchor, you know, if you look in an old anchor that has this pipe, and then it has these two anchors, right? It's two. Everything is two. It's duality. We're yin two. We pull, we push. We're anchor right, anchor left. We're yin, we're yang. We're black and we're white. We're red, we're not red. You know, we're anchored. We're anchored, and together, when we're anchored, we create this base, right? This sustainability. So, oh wow, this is really something. I want to continue with a different with some more music, and back to Matti, but this time, and this is something that a few people have been waiting for, and I've been really I really had a joy of digitizing this. This is an album that Matti produced for his wife Raquel, or Raquel as it's spelled in English, and it's taking his songs and singing them in Portuguese. So they were translated in Portuguese and to make his song. But let the maestro talk about it, and then I want to show a little clip of one of the songs that I really, I mean, I love all the songs, but we can play all the songs. But one of the songs from that album by Raquel, and stay afterwards later on today, we'll upload the entire album to my YouTube channel, and you can see it from there. So let's hear Matti talking about the album Raquel.
Yeah. So now I want to talk a little bit about an album that I'm so sorry did not get its deserved attention, and it's named simply after your wife, Raquel, or Raquel as it's spelled in English. And that album has her singing all in Portuguese. And you wrote all the music except for the last one, Água de Marco, that was by Jobim.
Águas de Março.
Márcio. Água de Márcio. Março.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for thank you for another lesson. There you go.
Yeah.
It's funny to write it in English. I have to find the right characters to type it. Yeah. So this CD was in 1998, and it's fascinating because here's your wife Raquel singing, and how did that start? How did you? I mean, did you know from the beginning when you guys met that she's a singer? Or did you? I know I heard her vocals.
No, she told me that she was. She used to sing in a group in Brazil, and I found her very, very musical, and a wonderful sense of harmonies and rhythm. So she started to sing with me. I hosted her for one or two songs in my shows.
Yeah.
And among them, we sang Águas de Março. And then she made a decision to translate my songs to Portuguese, but just in order to publish them,
Mm-hmm.
not her as a singer, but as a representative, as an ambassador.
Yeah.
Yes, of my music, in order to try to spread it in Brazil or Portugal, and that's how it came out.
Well, it's a beautiful, how do you say in English, snunit, or a bird. It's a beautiful bird, because we get to hear your music in different languages, in a different language. And some of the songs here are also in your other albums, like with Ricky Gal, right?
Yes, she picked the song the way she wants it, and I agreed. argue because it was very important for her to feel good about any song, and that it would come easier for her,
I see.
because she does not consider herself as a singer.
Those are usually the best singers. You had the same story, where you never thought you were a singer until Arik Einstein encouraged you.
Yes.
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 Were there any songs that you wrote specifically for this album? Aside, no.
No, there isn't.
Okay. Well, this is a beautiful, beautiful album, and we'll upload those because you can't find them anywhere. And luckily, I have that little. The first it came out, I ordered it while I was in Boston, so I got that, and that's beautiful. So thank you very much for this video with Lucky Ali, and for this album that is getting, that hopefully will have a new life, will just be played all over again. And thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Right, it was really great. So here's a song, a duet with Matti in Portuguese.
Vou te ligar pra te dizer quantas noites eu tenho sonhado com você.
Vem me contar, quero saber deste amor tão lindo que acaba de nascer. Não, não, pare de falar. É tão bom te ouvir do outro lado e sem parar. Eu não vou deixar um amor tão quente, tão gostoso se esfriar. E sem querer, vou te revelar, com vergonha e timidez, que eu quero te abraçar.
É minha vez,
É minha vez,
vou te declarar quanto tempo eu sonho em te encontrar e te beijar.
Não, não, pare de falar.
There you go. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So this is so the album will be up later on today. So compassion and kindness, compassion and kindness. How do we measure compassion? Is how we are with others. We can say, okay, be compassionate with myself, be compassionate with yourself, be forgiving to yourself. Yes, but how do we measure that? We measure that in relation to somebody else. We measure that in relation to somebody else. It's like touching somebody else's skin, and then you can feel your own skin when you touch, right? It's like all these analogies are all pointing to the same place. So compassion is really how are we with others, and judgment. This week for me, I've experienced how I almost slipped. Well, I kind of slipped because otherwise I wouldn't be thinking about that. But judging a book by its cover, and it wasn't a book; it was a person. I was looking and I said, "Oh, this person is probably like that and like that." And I heard this voice in me. I said, "No, no, 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 no! You no go there. You go here." Meaning going here, going like, "Hey, listen to this person." And I was blown away. I was blown away by this person of this young person, this guy that was just full of his head was full like a pomegranate, as we say in Hebrew. Was creative, was just like, and then looking at how we are in this world, exactly like that. Sometimes when we allow the easy inclination of like falling into fear, falling into a place of no, that is not it. That is not how we are to be here. If we look at everything that is happening around us, everything, all the isolation, all those situations happening with with everything, with the wars, with the government, with what trying to control people and to say how to feel and how to think and how to. I mean, it is a big thing. It's almost like what's happening in our lives when we try to break out of stories, to break out of places that are not supporting us anymore, to break out of stories that are hindering on our growth. So faith, that's what Abraham basically expressed. Now there is faith. It's not just I'm believing in God or I believe in God. I know that based on my actions, based on the way that I am, I know that this is all for the good of my journey. It's not enough just to say, right? To say I believe in God. Because we can say from here till tomorrow. And words are powerful. But when we don't have the intention behind the words, manifesting doesn't occur. Or it occurs skewed. It's like a tree that grows to the side instead of growing up. So when we don't have an intention behind our words, our tree, our ask for manifestation grows offside. So the place is between habit. And so faith is knowing that this is good for me, knowing and taking the action and being there. And also if it's as faint as, little faint, a little faith. Also if it's faint. There was this famous experiment that I read about that put mice in water and see how much they can hold behind underwater and have this little air and trying to swim all the time to grasp for air. And the first time, the first group of mice died within 15 minutes because they were. But the second group of mice, after 10 minutes, they took them out of the water and then put them back in. And then they lasted 60 hours. Now, not that I'm okay with animal testing, but that says something. That says a lot about the capacity of faith, the capacity of believing. So think about it. When we believe in something, or when we see somebody, or when we are so adamant about what happened over there, and we're saying, oh, this is why the person treated me like this, or this is why the person talked like this and like that, without knowing really will happen there. Oh, this person, I called him last week or a month ago or a year ago, and this person never returned my call. Or I called him twice. We really don't know what the story is behind there. So, but when we have this faith, I don't know why this came up, but yeah. When we have this faith in something that we believe in, it is strong. Oh, I know now, because it is strong, right? Both sides, not only on the good side, but also on the not so good side. When we believe something so adamantly, it can lead us to craziness, to go cuckoo. I found this coin. I don't know if I put a picture up of Saint Thomas More, right? And he was doing so he was against Catherine, and he said, a faint faith is better than a strong heresy. That's on the back of this coin. Let me, Henry, right? King Henry and Kathy. Kathy, hey, King Henry. Hey, Henry. Hey, Kathy. What's up, Kathy? So a small faith, even the smallest one. So when somebody is coming to you and putting you down and not believing in you and saying and choosing the negative route for your success, you know something is off here. You know something is off here. So be compassionate to one another. Be compassionate to yourself and to the other person. The best things for the other person like you want for yourself. If you're inspired, please check out my YouTube channel. You want to learn more about sound therapy. Oh, what I didn't tell you. Wait. The important thing. It's an important thing. Almost forgot. Pulling our intention cards. Right. Pulling our intention cards. These cards are great because they poke, right? So talking about sound. I'm a sound therapist. I'm a spiritual guide and a sound therapist, and I help people and I guide people in manifesting that which they want to manifest. Mapping your experience, mapping your journey, your spiritual journey, so you can understand your physical one. Because everything that happens on this physical realm, on this physical level, has a spiritual reason and cause. When we understand our spiritual reason, our spiritual journey, then our outlook is completely different and more aligned, and you'll feel it in here, just like you feel when you do good things for other people. So, okay, so let's see if something comes up here. I don't know, I'm going to, I don't know, maybe if somebody types stop, and I'll stop, juggling and mingling, and, okay, maybe I'll stop now. What do you think? Maybe I'll stop now. Maybe I'll stop now. Now? No? Ouch. Oh, that fell. That fell. Okay, so that's it. So that's it. Oh, well. Can you say, oh yeah, you can read it right? What do I want to happen next? What do I want to happen next? Now, let's think about this question in this connotation. These questions always fit beautifully. These cards always fit beautifully into the topic that we're speaking of or about. What do I want to happen next? Look around at your construct. Look around at your life. Look around at what is happening. First of all, do you want anything to happen next? Do you want anything to move forward from where you are now? And if you do, where is this wanting coming from? Is this wanting an influence from an outside source? Is this wanting an influence from a pain, from guilt feeling, from a feeling of I have to, from feeling, oh, I'm not good enough? Where is this wanting coming from? Is it coming from your sacral, from your liver and kidneys, where all your animalistic desires and wants are from? Is it coming from your heart? Is it coming from your head that speaks a million miles an hour and tells you what yes and what no, and especially what no, and if you do this, what yes, what will happen, how will happen, who will happen, when will happen? Where is this wanting coming from? And once you came to that decision, if you do want something to happen next, what is it? So we remember in the beginning we talked about the procrastination, and you get out to do something. You just do something. You just create something. You create a movement. Movement. My son says, motion is lotion. You create movement. Just to create movement so you can start moving the other parts in your body. The other parts, the internal parts, that will start moving. And what do you want next to support where you're going or where you want to be? Maybe you're not where you want to be yet. Well, that's okay. Our life is constant journeys. Is a constant journey. So what do you want to happen next? Where is that wanting to happen next coming from? And that which you want, let's say you decided that you want already. Is that what you really want? Or is that what somebody else's wants? What you want versus what somebody else wants. Many times they clash together. They come together and they mesh. And then they create this confusion. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to the world, be kind to animals. Be kind to animals. Have a wonderful week. YouTube channel is youtube.com/Ilan Azulai. My Facebook, if you're here, you already know that. It's my name, or bodysoulsound.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm Ilan Azulai, and I will see you soon.